Alright, welcome back everybody. Going to do a kit review on this. This is going to be not a building review, just a parts review of the Citroen, the 1/16th scale Citroen DS19. And I know I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I've heard people pronounce it like that. So that's what I'm going with. I want to start right off the bat by saying there's also a convertible version of this one, which I believe is more than likely a two-door as well. And so that one is out there. These are out of production for at least 10 years, I think. But they're definitely still available. I got this one off of eBay about 10 years ago. And I just looked, and there's one of these on eBay right now for about 70 bucks. The convertible is up there as well for sale. So I'm wanting to continue to build my database of kit reviews to show everybody what's inside of them, to help them decide on their purchase. And I'm going to try to get back to doing these. I've got a couple hundred kits that are still in line to be reviewed, and I'm trying to get back to it. So anyway, I saw that CT is going to be building a Citroen, a different model of the Citroen, but it reminded me that I had this one, and I wanted to. It reminded me I've got to get up there and review this thing. And I haven't been in this box in at least 10 years. The box looks about the same on all sides. Picture of the car. Here's just the description of the car, and I'll get in there tight to show some of that. It is a 4-cylinder, like 75 horsepower. Now, suspension, it's saying hydropneumatic, 4-wheel independent, so I'm curious to take a look at that, and we will when we get in there. Not a big car, not a huge car. And now the kit, it's not talking about the kit there, and it really doesn't talk about the kit, but I'll just show the other side of this. It's just a gigantic box, but it has 157 pieces there, and it's for 8-year-olds and up, French 8-year-olds. And there's just general information there. But there's not a date, so I don't know when this was manufactured. There may be something on the instructions. We'll find out. It's going to be absolutely impossible for me to open this box with one hand, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the box open. I just wanted to show a few things in the instructions here. Now clearly what you have there is the motor does go in the front on this car, and so the transmission is up there as well, and you can see that the transmission is driving the wheels up front. So this is front wheel drive car, and just pointing that out. But over here on a couple of pages from Okay, now the rear suspension, I'll show you that in a moment. So there's your big exploded diagrams. There's 25 steps listed. I wanted to show the kind of an interesting thing they do here on the steering. If you look here, step 16 and 17, they give you these 3 different tie rod options on both sides. And so as much as it doesn't steer, it looks like it gives you 3 different posable options. One of those, of course, would be wheels straight forward, which of course is what I would go with. You don't want the car to be permanently turning right or permanently turning left. Really surprised they went to this much trouble and didn't just make it steerable. I'm going to have to look at that when I'm building it to see if that can just be made to be steerable. So that was a bit of a surprise there. But otherwise, very clear instructions. And that's about all there is there. There's the big final assembly. And something I looked at looked as though maybe the windows slide up and down, but we'll take a look at that. And then there's the rest of the box. I'll decide where to go next, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'll start with this assortment of parts. This, of course, is the big chassis pan. And I wanted to show how the rear suspension, independent suspension, is represented. It's molded in, but it's represented. And boy, the pan looks good. It's nice and straight too. Must have something to do with the front suspension there. Lower control arm of some kind. Something I notice is that this car goes together a bit different than what I'm used to seeing. And there's the doors. Just noticing just now there's only 2 of them, and this being a 4-door car, I hope that doesn't mean that, well, I'm sure that does mean that only the front's open, but we'll see. I'll get the body out next. There's the hood. It's been beaten around a little bit. Certainly got to prime and sand that. Let's see what's on the other side of it. Here's a look at the underside. A little bit of flat black will probably make those scratches kind of go away, blend in. And it does have the separately mounting fenders, front fenders there, that attach on separately. There's the other one. And this is the pan under the front bumper in engine. So that would go, of course, kind of up there somewhere. Alright, so that's a look at those parts, and let's go get the body out and take a good look at that. Okay, and there it is. It was wrapped in the original wrapping for the entire kit, I believe, because it has the price on it. So this originally, at some point, I don't know if that 502 means May 2002, it might, but 45 euros. And whatever the exchange rate was back then, I have no idea if what that has translates to in dollars. But here's the body. Look underneath here. Let me take a look. This is a pretty, being a one piece here, that's a pretty complex mold right there that formed all that. It's a pretty good trick there. Not sure if I've ever seen one molded that uniquely. And unfortunately, yes, I was right. It only has opening front doors. Doesn't mean that you can't open the back doors. You get creative. But it means that it's only going to easily open the front doors. Let's get a look at the back here. Interesting little emblem there. And it's nice and straight. Looks good. Very unique car. So that is in pretty good shape. It just needs the regular prime and sand. And on the underside here, it's got a neat, you got those ejector pin marks there, but a nice texture up there, which you couldn't, you had a challenge to match that over those marks. But anyway, so that's the body. Looks pretty good, pretty unique. So I don't know where we'll go next, but whatever that is will be in the next scene. Okay, so here we go. We've got the chrome pieces and the clear pieces and the decals. Boy, I'm just, at first glance here, look at the difference between the front bumper and the rear bumper. In case you're not realizing, the front bumper is that one, The rear bumper is much smaller. Almost as it looks as though this car is driving backwards. Here are the hubcaps. I believe they are hubcaps and not wheels. And I think they're supposed to be chrome. There's a little bit of, let's see if that's scuffing. My eyesight is not good enough to tell, but you can probably see. It might need a little polishing if they're supposed to be chrome. If they're not supposed to be chrome, then you can do anything you want. But it looks like pretty good chrome. Those are the headlights. Let's take a look at those on the other side. Good enough. And the headlights themselves, are they? Yeah, they're over here. Let's see how close I can get there. I can do this. There we go. And the rest of the glass there, that's the front windshield. And you know, it looks kind of hazy, but really what it is it's not, the mold wasn't quite polished. It's hard to tell. But these windows need to be polished because it looks like they were just kind of made rough. And so they need a bit of polish and some future. See that? It's like when they were molded, there was all these little brush marks in the mold or something. But that can be worked with. Oh, that of course is upside down now. Steering wheel. Look at that unique steering wheel. Need to know more about that. Does it really look like that? Okay, now onto these decals. I'll get as close as I can. That's the limit. I can't tell what they say. Looks like they missed just a little bit on the lining of the silkscreen layers. But it is close enough for me. So anyway, that's these three sheets. Let's get on to a little bit more. Oh, okay, and here's the rest of it. All of this was in one bag, that big bag right there. And I'm going to try to get it back in that bag. Don't know if that's going to work. Let me start with the tires. So here they are. I'll pick them up here. I don't know what's all over them, but we'll take a look at the tread. It looks like it kind of wipes off. This is some kind of mold release agent, I think. They are made of some kind of material where I can't tell if this is rubber or vinyl. I'm leaning towards rubber. There's the tread design. Look at that. And okay, so there are 5 of them. I imagine they're all identical. Yeah, they're probably all identical. And that's the tires. Only one of them still on its sprue. And here's the interior parts. I really like the interior. I think that I probably wouldn't do anything with it. If the interior is supposed to be vinyl, it looks like vinyl already in it. I like the shade. So aside from some details, I would probably just put it together and just leave it. Look at these wild pieces here. Again, I would love to see the mold on this. Wow. That's one piece there. Pretty unique. And I guess that is the back door. Yeah, I'm sure it's the back door because the front door would have separate panels. Yeah, right there. Because the front door is open. No, one piece seats, so they don't recline or anything. One piece back bench seat. And really, really like that interior. Now let's get on to this sheet here. Way down here in this corner, those are those odd little tie rods that I was talking about for positioning your steering in a fixed position. So I would think I would go with straight. Clearly hood hinges there. The wheels, now what am I looking at? Are the wheels held on by one bolt? That's just something I'm not used to seeing there. I don't know. Some nice little tiny pieces here. Shifter. Possibly. And this car is just unique enough that I'm not going to know what everything is. Radiator fan, I guess. Kind of looks like a turbine. But I'm sure that's the radiator fan. Your oil pan. Here's your valve cover. And your block and transmission there. What is that? Don't know offhand. Not even going to guess. Oh, clearly this is your rack and pinion for your steering. But some of these other things I'm not going to say anything so that somebody can't say you're wrong. Oh, look at this dashboard. Wow. I've actually never seen one of these cars in person. But that's kind of a futuristic looking dashboard. I like that. Some pulleys. That piece there I think is part of the steering. Yeah, that's your front half shafts. Okay, and exhaust manifold, single exhaust, of course. I read it had a single Weber carburetor, I believe. These must be control arms. These other pieces I think have something to do with like these pieces down here. I think it has something to do with that hydro pneumatic suspension. And then you've got this big long piece, that muffler and exhaust there. Look at that. Look how long that piece is there. So that's unique. It reminds me of the Jaguar XKE, I think has those, looks similar to that. But I've got to be careful not to drop these pieces. I'm already lost a few here and there. Gotta try to get, that's why I want to try to get this whole thing back in the bag. Because the outer box doesn't necessarily always hold everything. Because a little part can go out the corner. But anyway, that's everything on this kit. The box is empty now in there. That's all the parts. Certainly a unique kit. Where did I... Okay, the box is... I'm using the box. So I will go back to here. It's upside down. So I will show the car. I'll turn the camera upside down. And I'll close out by saying this is a very unique looking car. I'm happy to have the kit. Somebody always tries to trade me or or buy it from me when I'm doing one of these reviews. This one is not for sale or trade. I like it and I want to keep it. But that is a very unique looking car. I would build it pretty much just like you see it. I look forward to seeing what CT does with his. That's a very different model of the Citroen that he has. It's not going to look like this at all because it's a different car. But this would look really good in that nice shiny black, just like it is, I think. Anyway, that is my review on the Heller Citroen DS19. Looks like a pretty good kit. Looks like they put it together pretty well. And that'll do it. Thanks for watching, everybody. And everyone have a good one.